Many puppy parents face a few common behavior issues. Let's look at some of them.
Sorry, you guys, oh my goodness! Right there!
Overexcitement may seem cute in a puppy, but left unchecked, this behavior can cause unwanted consequences. The number one problem my viewers experience with their puppies is jumping up.
No.
The mother would come and grab and, touch them like this. Grab, hold them. She would just hold right there until they relax. You can prevent this by practicing calm assertive energy, not excited energy, around your puppy from day one. When you enter a room, use no touch, no talk, no eye contact until your puppy calms down, and don't encourage overexcited behavior. Always play the pack leader role by claiming toys if you notice overexcitement or possessiveness.
Put it down.
Overexcitement or possessiveness can lead to destructive or aggressive behavior. Of the 4 puppies I raised, Mr. President needed the most work to curb his chewing and possessive behavior. See that foot is very typical of it. They start putting their whole entire body over any kind of property. Chewing, destroying, ripping apart. Okay, so now I'm going in. Don't remove the object from their mouth, because that means you're fighting with them. I can also bring food and redirect them right away from it, but I also, sometimes I'm gonna be in a situation where I don't have food. So just the fact that I came in with this type of demeanor, with this type of energy, that should be enough for him to know, oh, what he wants is the toy. So at that point, he can't touch the toy anymore. Toy on the floor doesn't mean you can play with it. There you go. It's when I give it to you that you can play with it. So this way I am in control. Otherwise, everything they find, they're going to believe it can be my toy. So that's why, sometimes they find shoes and they make the shoes the toy. Plus the shoes has your scent. So it's a very familiar thing that has leather and your scent. Now I'm going to show you how I start from preventing separation anxiety. Separation anxiety only happens when dogs live among humans, and the reason is because they're not really programmed to live by themselves. So I'm going to show you, how dogs can stay behind walls in the backyard and somebody's home, and how I address the separation anxiety. That's the first thing. First thing is they're going to try to get to us. They're going to try. It's an instinct for them to follow and find what is his family, what is his pack, to reunite. So very important to remember that, and very important not to take it personal. That's the screaming. I'm just letting it go a little bit more than what I normally do for you to understand how sensitive I am to the situation, and I don't let him escalate, The reaction of wanting to dig themselves out is very typical. If that didn't work, which obviously through doors and through walls and through many fences is not going to work, they're going to go into the expression of the voice. And a lot of times what happens is they bring people back, and they bring people back upset, or they bring people back, or they bring people back and give them treats. And then what they get is, they're not here to stop my anxiety. They're actually here to reward my anxiety. So it totally confuses them, What is it called? What is it called? So what I'm doing right now is just having a conversation from far away, because the goal is that you will leave in control, or for him to learn to be controlled from far away. He's still at the edge of the door. He's in an alert state. Now the yawning right now that we just saw is part of the anxiety. A lot of times when they're anxious, they start yawning. A lot of that's an expression. Those are symptoms that I want you to learn, about it. So I'm not going to move from here. I'm not going to do anything else until he goes into a different state. There you go. He just moved away. So then I go back and do the exercise again, where I go and hide. So we're doing this by steps, by stages, where he sees there. We're somewhere around the house, but not very close. So we didn't went all the way to stop the behavior. We stopped the behavior 20 feet away from, because at the end, we're going to be miles away from them. It's really difficult for them to learn to be by themselves. So we have to understand not to feel bad about it, not to feel stressful about it, tense about it. Relax, because that's what we want them to understand about being by themselves, to relax. So it's the energy we leave behind and how we address the situation. That's the message. And that will always trigger calm submission. Oh, that's exactly what we want. See it? He's by himself. Sorry. There's no need to reward him. There's no need to do anything else. If I were to go to Angel now and reward him, I will be contradicting everything I've been teaching, as I want him to understand that I will be leaving the house without him from time to time. Great pack leaders take their dogs for a walk every day.
Relax the tension, sweetie.
Check with your vet to determine the proper amount of walking your puppy can handle.
That's nice. That's very nice.
Before you can start your walk, you want to introduce your puppy to the leash, and to do that in a way that makes the puppy look at the leash as a positive object in his life. The goal is you want him to crave to have the leash on, which is the opposite of nature. They don't want to have a leash on. So if you overdo it, they're going to say, "Gee, I told you, I don't like that thing on my neck." But if you make it short and sweet and you make it fun and you involve the nose and the eyes, you will see how the brain will say, "I want to do that. That challenged me. Can we do it again? Can we do it for a longer period of time?" So you want to do it short and sweet at the beginning and then extend the period of time. You can do it this way, or you can bring a treat. As you see, he's very, very focused on the little duck. So, there you go. So he goes through the loop. Very important. Okay, and then we just put him on the ground. See, the resistance is very normal. This is the part that we want to avoid, that resistance, especially when in a puppy. So that's why this is a perfect time to bring food. In this case, I'm gonna begin with the food. So just food, chicken. There you go. So what we invite in is definitely the nose. There we go. So if you notice, I didn't do the whole
here's the treat, or do you want a treat? I invite the nose to follow. If the nose follows, 60% of the brains follow. So at that time, the brain recognizes, okay, if I wear the leash, they're gonna give me a treat, and then they're gonna make me walk, which eventually the brain learned that the whole point of walking on the leash is actually a very comfortable thing to do. Built it. There you go. This time we're gonna do it a little bit farther. The jumping, very typical in little dogs or Jack Russells or Terriers. Very nice. Good job. So we're doing two things at once. We're actually asking him to follow, and then when we stop, for him to sit down. So he learns that when the human stops, it's best for him to go into a waiting position. Otherwise, they can automatically go into sniffing around and then becoming bored of you waiting. So that's when you get the whole pulling thing. Now I'm actually pulling a little bit just to teach the brain, if I pulled you, I want you to follow. So that's the conversation on the leash. So you pull right here and then use the food. Good boy. Perfect.